Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome to another edition of Remixing Politics and Culture with me, your host, Pam. I am a public relations and marketing professional with a passion for social justice, voter advocacy, and culture. And tonight, we're going to take on another headline news topic, town hall style, with multiple guests from various backgrounds. And that's what I'm calling America's addiction to violence. Almost every other month, there's a mass school shooting. I was talking to one of our guests tonight, and she just reminded me of a horrific school shooting at a Catholic church in her state, and I had almost forgotten about that. This past week, however, was record book in that we had both a school shooting and an execution style assassination of a controversial podcaster, excuse me, and co-founder of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, while he was talking to some 3,000 students at a college in Utah. Because of his relationship with Trump and the GOP, the execution was immediately seen as political violence. Then on that same exact day, as I mentioned, we had a mass shooting at a school, a high school, also out west in the state of Colorado. The shooter there committed suicide, and at least 2 students were in critical condition, and I'm not sure of their current condition because the airwaves have just been filled with what happened with Charlie Kirk. Can get the name out. It's all been so overwhelming because people were filming Charlie as he was speaking to the students, as we all do, and the explicit, gory details of his death were actually captured and then shared on the internet for everyone to see, which further inflamed people. And so immediately the White House blamed the horrible left and the Democrats before having any facts of the crime were investigated. The American flags, were ordered to half staff for a person who spoke plainly his racist rhetoric. But nothing was said or acknowledged about the school shooting. We're talking about it all tonight, and this unrelenting violence in America that's not so beautiful. All right. So I am going to introduce my guests. First up, I have Sharon Mullen. She is an insurance professional who is also a writer, digital marketer, and PR professional. She has served on boards and community boards and commissions and has held office in civil rights organizations. She is currently writing for several digital outlets. Welcome back to the show, Sharon.
Welcome back. You said. Remember last time I couldn't I couldn't really get through, but I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me, Pam.
I'm glad you are here. Okay, so I see David hasn't made it back just yet, so I am going to go to, next up I have Reverend Ron White. There he is. Okay, so Ron is a retired is the operative word for someone who worked in the auto industry some 46 years. He started off as an hourly skilled trades, worked in design, engineering, and manufacturing management for General Motors for 34 years, and then worked at Stellantis, which is the old Chrysler brand, for 10 years. He's also a minister, obviously. He celebrated 41 years in the ministry now. He's married to Naomi, and together they have 3 sons and 10 grandchildren. He's the associate pastor of Christian Tabernacle Church in Southfield, Michigan. He is the team chaplain for the Detroit Pistons. and the Motor City Cruise basketball teams. This is his 5th year as chaplain. Welcome back to the show, Ron. Also known as my twin, y'all. But
always good to see you, twin. Thank you for having me on tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. And next we have, okay, poor David. I think he's still trying to figure out how to get on. But we have Angel Uden. Angel is a native Detroiter who resides in the home state of Prince, which is Minnesota. Angel leads the equity, diversity, and inclusion efforts as a senior leader of the Office of Human Resources at the University of Minnesota. Prior to this experience, Angel was a DEI leader in the healthcare industry and in the finance industry. She has over 3 decades of experience in leadership development, business strategy, project management, global manufacturing, operations, and conflict resolution. And no, she is not just some DEI hire, okay? She has credentials. This is Angel's first time on the show. And welcome, Angel. Welcome.
Thank you. And of course, the gremlins of technology are definitely haunting me. So hopefully I'll be able to hang in there with you guys. The power went off just as you went live.
I saw
so
that.
I am on my phone.
I saw that. Oh, wow. Wow. And David, I see you, but it says your devices aren't connected. So I can't bring you up on the stage. So we're going to say hi to the people in the chat. Oh, David says, I'm here just trying to get in the room. I know, David, you might have to, I don't know why the devices, it says you're not connected somehow. And I don't know how to troubleshoot. I'm just here trying to get, okay, let me see who's this. Hey, Renee. Hey, Deb, Detroit, Deb. These Detroit blessings, everyone. Okay. Good evening. Hey, Angel. That's Berto Ellis is Dr. Ron Charles. To give you that information. Okay, guys. So let's get into the conversation. We have more guns in America than we have people. What in the world? So what do you think is really the fascination with guns, particularly the AK-47s, etc.? And how do we fix it? And I'm going to ask this same question of all of you. Ron, you go first.
I think number one, people equate weapons, particularly automatic weapons and assault rifles, with security, personal protection. But in reality, our society has degraded to a society of murder. And murder starts in the heart. And evil is just running rampant today. Just think about this from the time that you and I started school. We never had to prepare for a mass shooting. But today, it happens so frequently that to your point, we can't even keep up.
No.
Right? There's so many of them in this country, and we're supposed to be civilized. Right?
Yeah.
We are not civil.
No.
We are not civil. People are living in fear. And I think to compensate for those fears and those insecurities, they think that acquiring weapons is what's going to get them through that fear. And really, what they do is they escalate fear among people that normally would not be living in fear, because you never know who's packing, you never know who's carrying, whether you be at church or in a theater or in school or in any public place, and now even in your home, right?
Yeah.
And so I think this indicates that we have turned into a depraved society.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not good.
It's not. Angel, your thoughts? The fascination of guns, Angel, Uh-oh, I hope she isn't frozen. Oh boy.
Mhm.
Her power went on her.
Yeah.
She'll try again. Sharon, I'll pass it on to you. What's the fascination with the guns, particularly the high-powered weaponry like AK-47s that are illegal to use in hunting, by the way? And how do we fix it?
Well, I think part of the problem is media.
Uh-huh.
And I hate to say that, being members of the media, you and I hate to say that, but guns make people feel powerful, they think.
Uh-huh.
And that's the message that's in most of these shows and everything. Some music glorifies it. It breeds a whole new generation of people who feel like I have to have a gun. I have to have a gun to do this. I have to have a gun to do that. I'm not safe in my home if I don't have a gun. People really believe that. And more people are believing that. Also, guns are a symbol. They are a political symbol now. It's not about militia. It's not about really protecting your home.
Uh-huh.
It's more about a political statement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how a lot of people are framing it. Don't hands off my guns and all guns. They're just eloping all guns together in one pot. And that is a huge mistake. The Reverend was talking about, or the pastor was talking about the depravity of America. Well, we could have predicted this 35, 40 years ago because of the laxing, I guess, of societal norms, societal and communal rules, respect for the elderly. Oh, you're not going to tell me what to do. I have a gun now. You're not going to tell me what to do. We could have predicted it then. So it's just gotten worse and worse every decade or every generation. Mm-hmm. What can we do about it now? It would take it would just take a whole lot of healing in this nation. Mm-hmm. You have to start with the heart, as he was saying earlier. You have to start with the heart of America, the mm-hmm. soul of America. Mm-hmm. It's not going to change until we get to the heart and soul of America. And mm-hmm. I hate to sound flowery, but that is really the truth.
Angel, your thoughts?
I think it's multi-pronged, and I agree with everything that's been said so far, but I think it's multi-pronged from the standpoint of we are living in an age where people are desensitized. They see stuff on social media, and I don't want to do the blame social media, blame video games type manner, but I think social media has emboldened us to say and do things that when we were dealing with interpersonal interactions, when we were showing up with each other, we weren't inclined to be so audacious, to say the things we say, to do the things we do. Mm-hmm. And then you follow the money on the guns. Our founding fathers did not anticipate AR-47s. Okay. They were musket-loaded powder when they said everyone should have the right to bear arms.
Exactly.
Or if they were around today, they might revisit that, and there may be an amendment to that right to bear arms. That was for mm-hmm. protection, for safety, for security. There is no reason we need militarized weapons on city streets and in our homes. Where do you live that you have a need for that much protection?
Right.
I lived 65 years on this earth, and I don't own a weapon at all other than a kitchen knife. Okay.
Same.
Detroit is reflecting back from our childhood. I lived on the east side of Detroit, and I remember when the gangs were prevalent. This is not new.
Yeah.
But I remember we were thrown back like, oh my God, these must be big criminals when the chain gang decided to fight with chains, right? Their fists. So I think, we are in a society that we have become desensitized. We are not seeing the humanity in each other. And we believe everything we see on social media, and everybody's got an opinion, and they are emboldened. They think they can do things that they wouldn't otherwise if we were engaged with each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to bring up this whole thing about the Second Amendment, and you did so, Angel, that, they want to be so absolute. Oh, absolutely, we have this right. But there was one lawmaker, and a conservative one at that, and he said that line is just one simple line on that amendment. And one thing, if anything, the founding fathers used common sense, because common sense was common back then for the most part. And there is no way anybody would think that posing kids with AK-47s for Christmas cards and all that somehow that's a good thing. I mean, really?
I think weapons, like, I'm not interested in taking anybody's guns away from them, but sound, logical gun laws and regulations, looking at what do you really need and who should have what level of ammunition. I mean, like, things that are on the streets nowadays are the things that the military have and should have. But it does not require us in our homes. You look at kids who are being shot for playing ding dong ditch. I had to tell my 15-year-old grandson years ago, that's not an option for you. We're not doing that because
that's right.
People are crazy. And yes, they have Ring doorbells, but they're not leveraging that. Stay in the house and answer through the Ring doorbell. Excuse me, can I help you? Don't come to the front door with a gun. But crazy people are doing this.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to shift a little bit and talk about political violence. So now with the current occupant in the White House, notice how I don't try to say the name. Unlike what the governor of Utah said, words are and can be violent. The governor of Utah said, no, words aren't violent. People are violent. No, words can kill. Words have impact. Words matter. They matter a lot. So I disagree with him on that. But now with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the political rhetoric is on very high alert. I have a theory, you guys, and you may disagree with me, but I gotta put it out there. Charlie Kirk was just 31 years old. 31. He was a multi-millionaire. How did he get to be a multimillionaire? Well, he did have backing to start up his Turning Point, but he leveraged it with all of his social media engagement and what have you, and the algorithm and making money from that, right? Nick Fuentes, the guy with the Gropers Group, and we're going to get into that a little bit. Did you know he's only 27?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So with this, I'm gonna pose something to you all. I'm beginning to think that really and truly what these guys did, because I see this pattern in social media because I'm on it all the time, is that when people find out what rhythm works for them algorithmically, they keep repeating it because you get rewarded for it from the social media companies. And I almost think that once they started talking real crazy, stupid stuff, even whether they believed it or not, just saying whatever, and get people to follow them, they kept making money. And I almost wonder, is it really just a shtick, a thing, a phase because of their youth, versus a real hardened ideology because they're not political scientists. Neither one of them. Now, Nick did go to Boston University, but he didn't finish. And your boy Charlie, he just went to a community college and didn't finish that. So these aren't people, I would say Nick might be more of a thinker, but they're not particularly people that are policy wonks and that type of thing. Not even on the Steve Miller level, who went to Duke and graduated and all that stuff. What do you think?
Well, I think there's some truth to your theory, because what Charlie's main audience were people between the ages of 18 and 25. That's his chief audience. That's why he spent so much time on college campuses all over the nation, and that's where he made the bulk of his money outside of the social media in Turning Point. So I agree with what you're saying. I believe it is probably a shtick, but it's not a shtick that went too far. It's a shtick that he actually believes in.
Yeah.
It's it's a shtick.
Uh-huh.
But most people think that when you think of a shtick, it's like something that you do, like you pretend, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
believe that he believed what he was saying.
Okay.
That's what I
Okay.
believe.
What were you gonna say, Angel?
I think we come from the place of being provocateurs, and especially Charlie Kirk, because he intentionally brings topics onto college campuses with the sheer intention of, he says debating, but it's really to be a provocateur on a
Mm-hmm.
particular issue to get people in an uprising. And
Mm-hmm. And make that money
of
from it.
course, the more they do, the more they generate those clicks, the more they generate the revenues.
Mm-hmm.
They have all of the merchandise. You know, he's throwing hats out all over Utah when he arrived, right?
That's right.
And so it's increasing the following. And college campuses, I actually know a little bit about those places.
Mm-hmm.
There are very minds. We want them there because it creates a space for learning, for interrogating, for questioning things,
Mm-hmm.
asking questions, looking at critical thinking. And so when someone like that intentionally goes to that audience, what they're doing is they're trying to convert them. This is the whole radicalization concept that they talk about. You get these kids who are just, you know, some of them haven't been in the big city. Some of them have not been free to explore their beliefs and what have you, because they've been under the guise and the control of their families and their parents, right?
Right.
This is the first opportunity for them to start thinking about things. And so the seeds that he was planting, and the same with Nick Fuentes, the seeds that they're planting have these young people in a place, because remember, the frontal lobe is not fully developed until 25. I'm being facetious. I'm being real.
You're being real. You know.
Seeds, and you know, especially if there's any sense of marginalization that they may feel, you know, I didn't get something because someone else got it instead of me. You're actually feeding the beast. And so I think that there is definitely a strategy.
Oh, did we freeze? She froze. She froze.
Yeah,
okay.
she'll come back.
She'll come back. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, so I wanted to say in regards to Charlie Kirk, the scripture says that the love of money is the root of all evil. And I believe Charlie got hooked on the money. And unfortunately, there's so many people in our society today, particularly young people, who have not been taught to think critically. And they are a vulnerable part of our society.
Right.
So when you go to a college campus and you tell young people that, you know, you're going to get your degree and you're going to graduate with debt, but the reason that you won't be able to get a job is because a black man who is less qualified than you will have that job. Right? This stirs people up. They need to be out of this country. Brown people, black people, immigrants, let's get rid of all of them so that we can live the way that we want to live. And with them here, we won't be able to do that. And then you have all of these vulnerable people getting on the bandwagon. They'll throw money his way. They'll do anything that he suggests for them to do. Words are very powerful. Words, when we talk about violence, words, we start with words. The Bible says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Yes, it does.
And words, as Angel alluded to, are seeds. And so Charlie has done a lot of planting, right? And what happens with that seed is at some point it's going to develop into fruit.
Right.
And unfortunately, that fruit is going to be evil. So you're going to have all of these people who are under the cloak of Christianity, because that's what Charlie covered his evil with.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That gets people on the ship, thinking that they're doing the right thing, following the principles of Christianity. But what he was really doing was planting seeds of evil. And it's not good. And what happened to Charlie, and I don't condone violence.
No.
But Charlie planted seeds that manifest and it bit him in the neck, I'll say.
Yeah. It's just horrible. Just so, and you know what made me really sad, even more sad about that death, and despite all of the hatred and stuff we hear, I abhor violence of all kinds, but it just what bothers me so is that when I realize the age of both Charlie and Nick, all I wanted to do was look up who were their parents, because I'm like, who raised you?
Right.
You know, and really, because I mean, you can tell a lot, not always, but usually you can tell a lot by, you know, young adults by how they were raised or whatever, how they behave, how they interact with people. Not always, because you know our kids can be a butt rash on us sometimes, but you know that happens.
Right.
And I would think that Charlie was raised in church. I've heard him talk about Christ and how he loved Jesus, but then the words that were not of a religious tone were words of hate. And
right.
You can't pour sweet and sour out of the same vessel.
Right. Right.
So there's a huge contradiction there in terms of who he was.
Right. Right.
Yeah, a huge one.
Yeah.
Huge
absolutely.
one.
Absolutely. What do you think? One thing too, kind of going back to this whole thing, what do you think about this whole glorification of violence in the media, like with gaming? I did not know. Now, my kids never were into gaming or anything like that, but I just find that from what I'm understanding with these games and whatnot, they are just really, really super violent, and also can be sexually exploitive too, like something called Roblox or something like that. They've got a massive lawsuit against them. So it's like all of these images and all of these things that are coming after our kids, you know, are just, it's like an infection. And then you got people like Charlie that would do and again, I'm a thorough believer in freedom of speech. And what he did, it really was, and that's what I'm going to say, he was really a very good marketer. He was. No doubt. That's it. You know?
But remember that words have consequences.
Yes, they do.
You're free to say whatever you want to say, but you better be willing to reap the consequences. Can I read a scripture to you that maybe will bring some clarification to where I stand as a pastor?
Yes.
When we talk about violence, it says this in Proverbs 6:16. Here are 6 things that God hates, and one more that he loathes with a passion: eyes that are arrogant, a tongue that lies, hands that murder the innocent, a heart that hatches evil plots, feet that race down a wicked track, a mouth that lies under oath, a troublemaker in the family. That's what God says about violence and evil. Lying. He hates it. Didn't say he hated the person.
Right.
That he hates the action.
Right. Right. I want to play for you guys a video from a pastor that was on social media that I thought was very profound. Hold on a second. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Let's see. Here it is. I'm going to share my screen. Okay.
Seeing the flags of the United States of America at half staff, calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land. And hearing people with selective rage who were mad about Charlie Kirk, but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home, tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry, but there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil.
Nope.
And how you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life. I can abhor the violence that took your life, but I don't have to celebrate how you chose to live. I am overwhelmed. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated.
No, he did not.
But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America.
Okay. Okay. I thought he gave he gave a good word there. He preached that right on point. Right
Yes.
on.
Yes. I'm glad he pointed out the difference too. That's one of the things that really bothered me. He ordered the flags to fly half staff, but when Miss Wortman and her husband were killed, he did nothing. He practically mocked them.
He did.
He didn't even care.
He mocked Angel's governor.
Yeah. And he just, and people are like, well, I understand why. Why? You're the president of the United States. You're not the president of your friends. You're the president of the United States.
Right.
And you're going to honor, he's going to give this man the Medal of Freedom, y'all.
Yes. Yes, he is.
He's going to give this man that. No.
Yeah.
An evil man honoring another evil man.
Yeah.
And while we're calling him the evil man, can I read some of the things that this man has said? Can I go over that? Because I got a whole list of them together.
Yeah.
I just, some of them I hadn't even heard. So what he said about religion is there is no separation of church and state. It's a fabrication. It's a fiction. It's not in the Constitution. It's made up by secular humanists. He said that in 2022. And then on race, of course, he said, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
He's doubly qualified, so I'm glad to see him.
See,
okay.
And that's 2024. He said that if you're a WNBA pot smoking black lesbian, do you get treated better than a United States Marine? So I guess that was directed at Brittany Griner when she was over in Russia.
Okay.
He said, happening all the time in urban America, prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. It's happening more and more. That was in 2023. I remember watching that entire exchange and wanting to come through the TV because it's not right. Most white people are killed by who?
White people.
White people.
Yeah.
Not black people. So that is not true.
Yeah.
And then he said, if I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence or is she there because of affirmative action? You see, this is the type of hate that he's putting in these young people's mind. He's creating the next generation of adults that's going to vote and push for legislation to kick us even further back in time. That's what they're doing. That's his job. That's why he was hired and paid by the Republicans to do this.
Our guest Angel had her internet became too spotty, but I was so happy to have her for the time that we had her. We'll have to have her back because she's our DEI specialist. She is that person. Yeah.
I have more, but those were like the those were like, I mean, to say that, he said, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racist. Now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
And all the racists,
that's the one that bothered me most of all.
And all the racists
because
said, amen.
Why do they feel like they own all the slots?
They don't.
Who told them all the slots were theirs to take?
And they're so mediocre. I mean, you know, it's just a mess. It's just.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some intelligent white people out there, just like there are intelligent black people, of course.
Of course.
But don't sit up there and act like you have the monopoly on intelligence. You do not.
Right.
You know, and that's what, that just infuriates me. I'm just talking about it. I'm getting hot because I could not restrain myself if he was in my presence, because he is such an evil hearted. And how do these good white people call him a patriot and a Christian?
I don't know. They don't know the words of Jesus, as Ron has been telling us.
But they say they do.
They don't. Ron,
they quote scripture and call him a Christian, say that they're a Christian, and then get upset when I say, if I were to say, well, you know, thoughts and prayers, I don't know what else to say. You know, I had this discussion with one of my friends who's actually white and Christian. And I said, I'm sorry. I said, I understand how you feel. And I understand that this was horrible. I don't condone it. But do not call him a Christian. He was not a Christian.
Right.
And that's where she had to call me, because that was on social media. She had to call me. And I talked to her and I said, listen, you and I have been friends for a long time. It's been about 14, 15 years now. And we live our lives the way we live our lives. She has never shown any inkling of anything less than what we are to each other, Pam. So I was just stunned when she had a problem with this, you know? So I had to explain to her, you cannot call him a Christian. Christianity means you are a follower and believer of Jesus Christ. It's not just about believing in God. You believe in Jesus and who he was, and you follow him. To follow means to do as he leads you to do. And in the Bible, it talks about the least of these. He condemns the least of these. He supports locking up poor people, poor homeless people, like they've been doing. He approves of that. And he calls himself a Christian. I said, that is not Christianity.
No,
it's not Christianity.
No.
So when you try to use logic with them, it still doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No, they have dug in. This man was the antithesis of everything that Jesus stood for. And he was into unifying. He was into picking up those that were on the lower end of the of society. He broke down barriers. He went into the lepers camp. He communicated with people that traditionally the Jews, the male Jews, would not communicate with. There's several stories in the Bible where Jesus broke down barriers, and he was creating barriers. And so you can't say that you're Christian when you don't have the basic element of love for everybody. I just turned 65. I have not found one person that I've ever hated.
That's right.
Right? Because of the color of your skin? No. I can't hate you because of the color of your skin.
That's so ridiculous.
Are you kidding me? Because you're gay or whatever? I can't hate you because of that.
But I'm
following Christ. I'm trying to do the same thing that he was doing. He was a barrier breaker, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And he was a barrier breaker and a unifier.
Yeah.
He brought everybody to him. Everybody.
Mhm.
Follow me.
And
Yeah.
so when we look at this life of Charlie Kirk, they want to make a martyr out of him. How could they even phrase that? Right? How could they even justify that? Just because he says that he's Christian and he has these values? Well, what about the other part?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, the answer to your question, how they can do that because he spoke their heart.
Yeah.
He spoke, but they couldn't.
Right.
And that's why they're going to martyr him.
Yeah.
That's why they look at him as this great Christian patriot. Because he's saying what they feel in their hearts, that they've been lying to us all these years, saying that they don't.
Yeah.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same spirit. It's the same spirit since 1619, when they would on a Saturday take a black man or woman, whether she was carrying a baby or not, put them in a tree with a rope around their neck, and then Sunday morning they go to church and say, "Praise the Lord."
That's
Lord,
right.
See.
And exchange pictures of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And invite their children.
Yeah, the children there too.
Lord.
I just never, just the atrocities that we have had to face in this country.
Right.
It's just awful.
You know
Nothing
what?
compared to it.
I want to flip the discussion a little bit and go back to something that we definitely have a problem in our country with this violence. And if you look at the 99.9%, and that's not a fact, but it's pretty doggone close, I bet, of all of the mass school shooters, what did they look like?
They're white and male.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time. And even the governor of Utah, when he had said, he had prayed that the person who shot Charlie wouldn't be among them. He had hoped that it would be the boogeyman else from elsewhere. And yet it was right among them, which we all knew. And then what happened? All of a sudden the HBCUs start getting threats.
Can I read his exact quote? Because I have it.
Yeah.
He said for 33 hours. Did you hear me? 33 hours. That's longer than a day.
Mm-hmm.
For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for.
Mm-hmm.
I could not. When I'm watching this live, right? Because I was watching the press conference, I could not believe this. I sat up and I was like, this man let this come out of his mouth.
Yeah, he did.
He felt comfortable enough.
Yeah, he did.
Emboldened enough to let that slide out of his mouth. He's the governor.
He did, and I'm glad.
And he spoke from his heart.
He did it.
I'll give him credit.
I give him credit
what
too.
He actually believed.
That's what he actually hoped and prayed. 33 hours of prayer, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
He was hoping that killer was going to be an outsider, preferably a foreigner.
Yes.
That's not just rhetorical. That is dangerous.
I know.
You were talking earlier about the danger of words.
Yes.
That's dangerous.
And he's the one who said that words weren't violence, but they are.
Yes, they are. That fuels all this xenophobic policy and public distrust. All of that is in that. It starts with words like that.
Yeah.
And what did the Republicans do when they found out it was a white male? They doubled down.
Yes.
And they said those leftists.
They still kept talking about the leftists when this guy grew up in a household, in a family full of conservatives and Trump supporters.
And now they're trying to say that his roommate might be trans, and I don't know that. I have not seen that I have not seen where that's been fact checked, fact based, nothing. They always want to do an other of this or that, but I want to bring up on the right now. I want to share with you what Joy Reid says about why are you so angry, and the whole thing. And that's why I brought up Nick Fuentes at the beginning, because Nick has this group called the Groypers. And evidently Nick, who's 27, I got to keep saying their ages because we need to make sure we remember that. Nick was saying that he was on Charlie's case, saying that he wasn't extreme enough. And allegedly Laura Loomer, who has Trump's ear, he listens to her, had said something negative about Charlie, but Charlie had also wanted the Epstein files opened up.
Yeah.
I don't know, y'all, but I want to.
He went off about them files. He did.
Yeah. I want to play this short video that Joy Reid has, and it's called "Why Are You So Angry?" Meaning, why are these white guys that we really need to, really and truly, sincerely need to. Something has to happen. Somebody has to be sober-minded enough to see this pattern with all these young white men doing these heinous crimes that they're doing. And how do you stop it? How do you stop it? And so she's talking about this being really real. So I'm going to share this with everyone.
It's really good.
Okay. Here it is. Okay.
The actual violence that they're doing, but the way that they're grooming young people to be violent. You all want to talk about Black culture? You want to have a conversation about hip hop culture? Let us have that in the Black community. We don't need y'all for that. You need to have a conversation about what's happening to young white men. You must have a conversation with them. You must find out why they're so angry that they're picking up the guns you're letting them get, that you're making easy for them to get. And why are so many mass shootings happen? This is an actual serious conversation we need for our country. And this conversation cannot be done by Barack Obama. Y'all are not going to listen to him. It can't really be done by Bernie Sanders, although some of them listen to him. It can't be done by AOC. Jasmine Crockett can't do it. You on the right have to do it. And I don't know if there's a conservative who has the esteem of enough fellow conservatives to make that happen. Y'all ain't going to listen to Mitt Romney. But there's got to be somebody that you guys are willing to listen to. To say that it's enough is enough. Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House. You have both houses of Congress. You have a Supreme Court that is completely obedient to your president. They're willing to give him unlimited power. They're willing to say that he can take SEAL Team 6 and kill anybody he wants. They were willing to affirm that. They're willing to say that ICE can racially profile anybody they want. The United States Supreme Court has said you can racially profile Latinos based on their accent or the way they look. You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs, even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department's Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI, as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry? What the fuck are you angry about? You've banned all of our books. You've banned Black history. You banned the 1619 Project. You don't have to compete with women for jobs. You've chased them out of the military. You've chased them out of the senior positions in the Department of Defense. You've gotten rid of all the Black history in the museums. Museums are terrified. I have contacts that I'm talking to inside of the Interior Department, people who are running all of those spaces where you can go and see a Civil War memorial or something. The people who work in these places are terrified. They're afraid to tell the real history. The people who are working for the federal government are afraid to say the word Black. You guys have canceled Black scholarships. You're damn near, I guess, ready to get rid of HBCUs. Donald Trump just recently said they're not going to fund any minority serving institution. Y'all have gotten rid of that. You've gotten rid of help for Black kids to go to college. What more do you want? What are you so angry about? I go every so often, I go and lurk and look on X Twitter. Y'all are the maddest people ever. Y'all are so angry for people who have everything. Y'all said you want your country back. You have it. The rest of us are sitting back and trying to keep our peace and preserve our peace while you all are running the country. So this is what we need to face. And as a country, if we don't start facing it and face that our problem is the right, not just the actual violence that they're doing, but the way that they're grooming young people to be violent. You all want to talk about Black culture? You want to have a conversation about hip hop culture? Let us have that in the Black community. We don't need y'all for that. You need to have a conversation about what's happening to young white men.
Okay.
Yep.
Powerful.
Very
Mic
powerful.
drop. Mic drop. Poof. Mic drop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so angry?
She pretty much summed it up.
Yes,
I
she
mean,
did.
they do have everything. So
Well,
what do you want?
let's talk about this. Who among the conservatives could talk to them? What about G.W. Bush? We ain't heard from him in a long time.
Oh no, he lost favor because he didn't support Trump. So
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who?
I don't think they have anyone. I really don't.
Mm-mm.
Nobody? There's nobody?
No.
They
That
all
ended with
have
John
acted
McCain.
so
That
messy.
ended with John McCain. When he died, that's it.
John McCain. I'm gonna tell you, I don't think things would be this bad if John McCain were alive and healthy. I don't think so, because he would have roused up some of those Republicans and cursed them out and did something that he would have. You needed a strong leader, maybe somebody in the military, maybe one of our generals. Even though, because the generals are really neutral, maybe I'm just thinking maybe one of our guys like that, one of the 4-stars, one of the white 4-star generals.
He got rid of the ones that were critical. He got rid of the ones that were critical of him.
Well, but they have the credentials and all of that stuff. I'm thinking maybe that they could do it.
I think that when a person does have credentials, whether it be in the military or outside of the military, if Trump doesn't like you and he speaks negatively about your credentials and about your history, you get canceled.
Right.
Because the majority of them don't have any backbone. They will not stand in unison and say, this is not the Republican Party that we want it to be. They will not do it. I think about the Republican Party of the past versus MAGA. This is crazy. This is not the same conservative party that we were accustomed to.
Yeah, no, it's not. The GOP really is gone, and for all of the people that were diehard Republicans, the traditional Republicans, I don't even know why they use that term anymore. They should have just gone ahead and rebranded a long time ago. Who could Renee said in the chat that the old generals, they're too old and no swagger. I think they got swagger. Put that uniform on. I don't know who. I think it's gotta be somebody.
No, there is nobody that the MAGA people will listen to. That anybody on that side will listen to.
It's gotta be somebody, y'all.
Not anybody with any sense anyway. They've all gotten so messy.
Nope.
No integrity.
See, I just can't give it up. I just gotta believe there's somebody.
Well, you remember our Senator Tillis spoke out against what he's doing, and now he's all of a sudden not going to run for re-election.
Yeah.
He was running. He was going to run for another term until he spoke out against that big, beautiful bill at the end. To see, at first he was all with it. Then he realized people started writing him about how it's going to affect his own constituents.
I kept writing them. I kept tweeting them and all that. And when he put Hegseth, when he made that vote for Hegseth, I wrote to him. I said, "Now you know better. You knew that wasn't the thing to do. You knew that you did not want that guy over our people at Fort Bragg and what have you. You know better. You know better. I know you know better because he hesitated. He kept hesitating.
Right.
And he knew he was wrong. He knew he was wrong. But I'm gonna tell you, it's got to be somebody, y'all. We can't. We got to keep. Listen, I got to keep hope alive. There is somebody.
Fam.
There's a dead cat on the line.
Nobody.
Where there's somebody, there is somebody that can do it. We got to
tell you, Pastor. Tell her it's going to take prayer. Because only God can bring that person forward because we can't see them. So it's going to take that. It's going to take God for that.
It is going to take.
As it stands right now, there literally is nobody, Pam. It's really not. They turned on their own their favorite rock star. Every one of them loved Bruce Springsteen.
Oh,
they
I
loved
love
Bruce Springsteen until 2016. Now they can't. You see it all over X or Twitter, whatever. People dogging. They're dragging him because he dared to speak out against.
Oh, what
president.
about, is there somebody in the rock world? Maybe somebody like that.
They won't listen.
What
They
about
won't listen to him.
Could you imagine if Kid Rock turned?
He ain't turning.
He ain't gonna turn. He's from Detroit.
Now that really would take God, because he's like devil incarnate, man. I tell you, he's so far into it.
What I think is going to happen, if there is a turning, there's going to be something that is beyond Trump's control that's going to happen in this nation that will make people turn back to God, irrespective of their political party, the color of their skin, whatever differences we have. It's going to take something huge to happen in this country to straighten out the political system. And today it's not happening. My prayer is that it happens, because the route that we have chosen to take is a route that leads to destruction.
Somebody said Governor Larry Hogan. That's a good one, Zach. That's a good one. See, I told y'all, don't give up. Keep hope alive. Keep going. Maybe T. Who is T?
They got mad at Hogan. They got mad at Hogan when Hogan didn't like the guy that he appointed to be over the postal service. He didn't support that. So Trump, I hate to say his name too. 47 Problems is what I call him. He started putting out all these tweets about Hogan. That's why Hogan abandoned his run for the presidency, because he knew that he was swaying all the Republicans to vote against him after he spoke out about, no, Hogan, nope, they're not going to listen to Hogan. Keep them coming. I'm telling you, Pam, I got an answer for all of them. They're not going to listen to any of them.
They don't like John Mellencamp. They don't like, you know what, maybe they'll take a woman. Maybe our girl, what's my girl?
They want women to not vote. They want women to let their men vote for them and not vote at all. They want women to stay at home and not own property again. Right. So no, they're not gonna listen to a woman.
Yeah.
You got all these conservative women voting for this, not knowing what's waiting on them down the road.
The craziest
Do they
thing
not
ever.
Read?
What's the craziest thing ever? Voting against your own interests.
It's absolutely insane.
It's insane.
Yeah. Agent Orange. I believe something big is going to happen. His name is Joy. Who's she talking about?
I don't know, but I will say this again. It's going to take prayer, God.
Nikki Haley, Mark, why you keep bringing up Nikki Haley? Ain't nobody studying on Nikki Haley.
No,
that's a no for me.
No. Nikki burned her bridges with me. Nikki could have had it all had she stood her ground against Trump. But she caved and went. I said I couldn't believe she did that.
Yep, she did.
I couldn't believe she did that. I was like, Nikki, girl, she was talking to stuff. She said, this doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. And she just
knew better. She knew better. Somebody got to her. They came to her house one night and had a conversation. It was over with. It's like they're running the government like the mafia.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're shaking people down. They're intimidating people to do their bidding. That's why nobody will speak up.
I know they don't want to hear from no older folks, Renee, but we trying to think of everybody, Lottie Dottie and everybody.
You see, I'm sitting here like, no, I'm not even going to stress on it, because it's like I said, we need to be on our knees, y'all. We're gonna have to pray through this, because this is only gonna be God.
That now that's the truth.
I think what we have, I think what we have to do is I'm not worried about the Republican Party. I think we need to focus on a party that can be strengthened and that will be willing to take the country in the right direction. I want to see the Democratic Party get stronger. And right now, there's a lot of holes in the Democratic Party, if we're truthful. There are things that need to be changed in order for us to be effective. And today, we are struggling. Our messaging is horrible. Many of the candidates that we put in office are not delivering the goods. And they are being silent in regards to what's going on in the Republican Party. So we need people that won't be compromised, people that won't acquiesce, people that will stand for the principles and the precepts that benefit all Americans, not just Caucasian Americans, right?
Right.
There's some things in this country that won't be corrected until America admits its initial sin.
Yeah.
I believe that God won't let us off the hook until we go back to the beginning.
Exactly.
Right? We've stolen this country from Native Americans. We enslave Black folks, our ancestors. There's not been an apology. There's not been any reparations.
No.
Right? And then this country says that they are based upon justice.
Right.
You got 400 years of free labor.
Yeah.
And many of us today are still working for slave wages.
Yes.
So make it right.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like Talacaro. And I had written him in my notes from Texas. He's running for Senate. I really like him. He is a sharp dude. That Talacaro, y'all know what I'm talking about? From Texas. Yeah, buddy. He is.
Is he a Republican?
No, he's a Democrat.
Oh, okay.
But he's very. He presents himself so humbly, and it's something about. He kind of reminds me of Opie meets. Opie from the Andy
Griffith
show meets I don't know who the other person is, but he's got that kind of folksy way, but yet he's kind of prim and proper kind of. I like it. Yeah.
Does he have a D by his name? Yes. They will not listen to him.
Well,
see, about 15 years ago, they might have. They won't do it now. It's different party now. They're all MAGA.
It's something you got. Listen, let me say this before we, because we're at our time. You guys, all of you that are listening, please share this video with your friends and family and what have you. This is how we grow the channel and get more people interested. We've got elections coming up. I'm always looking for great guests. I'm looking for politicians that want to talk about their platforms. I'm looking for people just like I've had here for like a town hall setting on certain subject matters and whatnot. So please, contact me. My information is on this channel. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. It's free. I asked y'all to do it for my birthday, but a lot of y'all didn't. Some did. A lot of y'all didn't. So please subscribe to my channel, please. Thank you. Let's see. Let's see here. We got folks haven't worked since Carter and FDR. What are you talking about? His grandfather was a pastor. Oh, Talacaro. Yeah. Who is James Talacaro? Yeah, he's a sweetheart. Hope he's a miracle worker. I hope so too. Lord have mercy. I'm praying for him.
Yeah,
is he the one that want religion in the schools? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No, Talacaro, he doesn't. He doesn't. He's on point. He's on point, dude. He's on point. Yep. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. I've got a whole outro now. My daughter made it for me, so let me go look. I gotta go find it. All right. Good night.
Thank you, Pam.
Good night, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Right.
Okay, so which one of your daughters made that?
Let's see. Wait a minute. Stay in the studio. No, until the outro video finishes playing. Okay. Or won't end. Okay. It did end properly. I did it already.
We still live. We still live.
It says in stream.
No, I'm looking at us. We're still on YouTube. I can still see us talking right now.
Oh. What is this? Stay in the studio until the outro video finishes playing. Oh, see,
So now you have to click on end.
I thought I had ended the stream. It's ended now, right?
No, I still see us. It still says live on my screen too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still showing.
So hi, y'all. Hi.